I want you to picture yourself in the quietest, most ordinary moment of your day. It is early morning. You are standing in your bathroom, the warm water is running gently from the faucet, and you are holding your toothbrush, looking at your reflection in the mirror. In that quiet stillness, an unsettling, fragile moment happens. You try to recall the name of an actor from a movie you watched last night, or the title of a book your dear friend recommended just yesterday. The word is right there, hovering on the very edge of your tongue, but you simply cannot reach it. It feels as though a tiny drawer in your mind has suddenly been stuck closed. You stand there, staring at the silver hair at your temples, and a quiet, heavy whisper echoes in your mind. Is my mind slipping? Is this the beginning of losing my sharpness? If you have ever felt that cold chill of uncertainty while doing something as ordinary as brushing your teeth, I want you to take a deep, comforting breath. I want to look you in the eyes and tell you, I know exactly how you feel, because I have stood in front of my own mirror, toothbrush in hand, feeling that exact same quiet panic. We live in a world that conditions us to be terrified of aging. We are constantly told that past a certain age, our brains simply stop growing, and that forgetting a name is the first step toward losing our precious independence. But let me assure you, from the bottom of my heart, that this occasional forgetfulness is a completely natural part of a life that has gathered decades of rich, complex memories. Your mind is not broken, it is simply full. It is a vast, deeply experienced library that occasionally takes an extra second to locate a specific book. That is exactly why I am sitting here with you today. We do not have to surrender our mental agility to the passing years. Nor do we need to spend hours doing frustrating memory puzzles that feel like a tiresome chore. There are profoundly simple, gentle ways to invite fresh vitality back into our minds. Today, I am going to share a remarkably easy habit with you. It is something you can do right there in front of your bathroom mirror, using absolutely zero extra time from your day. It is a tiny, effortless adjustment to how you brush your teeth that wonderfully wakes up your brain. If you are ready to stop worrying about your memory, if you want to ensure that in your 60s, 70s, and beautifully beyond, you can still effortlessly recall the stories you want to share with your grandchildren, then I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Click that button below and join our peaceful corner of the world. Let us take back the control of our beautiful minds, together, one gentle morning habit at a time. Let us take a comfortable seat together and imagine the beautiful space inside your mind not as a complex, cold, biological computer, but rather as a vast, magnificent, and sprawling English country garden. Over the past 50, 60, or 70 years, you have been the master gardener of this beautiful estate. You have planted magnificent, deep-rooted oak trees that represent your core values. You have cultivated blooming rose bushes that hold your most cherished memories with your family. It is a masterpiece of time, rich with color, texture, and deep wisdom. Because you have lived in this garden for decades, you know it intimately. You have walked from the front porch to the beautiful stone fountain so many times that your footsteps have worn a smooth, clear path into the earth. Eventually, you laid down heavy paving stones on that path. Now, when you want to reach the fountain, you do not even have to look down at your feet. You can walk there blindfolded, effortlessly gliding over the smooth stones while your mind wanders elsewhere. These perfectly paved, smooth stone walkways represent our deeply ingrained daily habits. They are the routines we have practiced thousands upon thousands of times. The specific way you tie your shoelaces, the exact route you intuitively drive to your local grocery store, the sequence in which you prepare your morning coffee, and yes, the specific hand you automatically use to pick up your toothbrush every single morning. There is a profound, undeniable beauty in this efficiency. It is the hallmark of a mature, experienced life. Your brain has brilliantly paved these paths to conserve your precious energy. Because you do not have to consciously think about how to brush your teeth, your mind is free to plan your day, ponder a conversation, or simply rest. Your brain loves these paved paths because they are safe, predictable, and require absolutely no effort to navigate. However, Nature operates on a very simple and quiet rule. Whatever is left unexplored slowly goes to sleep. When we spend our entire day walking exclusively on the smooth, paved stone paths, doing exactly what we did yesterday in the exact same way, the brilliant gardener inside our mind realizes that his job has become incredibly easy. There are no new weeds to pull, no new soil to turn, and no unexpected obstacles to navigate. So, what does the gardener do? He naturally decides to take a long, comfortable nap in the hammock under the oak tree. The rest of your magnificent garden, the hidden meadows, the winding side trails, the delicate flowers growing in the corners, begins to quietly overgrow from lack of attention. The water stops flowing to those distant corners. This is not a disease, and it is certainly not a structural failure of your mind. It is simply a state of deep, undisturbed comfort. The forgetfulness, or the brain fog, we sometimes experience in our later years is often just the gardener being too drowsy to walk across the overgrown grass and fetch a specific memory for you. The brain simply hasn't been asked to wake up and pay close attention to the present moment. So, how do we gently wake the sleeping gardener? We do not do it by setting off loud, stressful alarms. We do not need to hire a heavy construction crew to bulldoze the garden, which translates to forcing ourselves into frustrating, exhausting brain training applications or trying to memorize a dictionary. We are way past the age of pushing ourselves to the point of exhaustion. Instead, we simply step off the paved path. Just by 1 foot. Imagine taking a single step off the smooth stone and placing your bare foot into the cool, slightly damp, tall grass of the meadow. Instantly, the sensation changes. The terrain is slightly uneven. It requires a tiny bit of balance. It feels wonderfully unfamiliar. In that exact fraction of a second, the sleeping gardener wakes up. He jumps out of the hammock, grabs his tools, and says, "Oh, we are walking somewhere new today. I need to pay attention to this." When you introduce a tiny, harmless disruption to a deeply ingrained routine, your brain immediately lights up. It sends fresh oxygen, new blood flow, and a spark of electrical energy to areas that have been resting for years. This is the beautiful secret of keeping a mature mind sparkling with vitality. It is not about strenuous mental labor. It is about the gentle art of novelty. It is about intentionally offering your brain tiny moments of surprise throughout your day. When we ask our bodies to do a familiar task in a slightly unfamiliar way, we force the mind to return from its automatic pilot mode and drop completely into the present moment. We remind the garden that it is still alive, still growing, and still wonderfully capable of blooming in new directions. And the most beautiful part? You do not need to carve out an extra hour in your day to do this. You simply take a routine you already do perfectly, like standing at the wash basin every single morning, and you add a drop of unexpected magic to it. You invite the gardener to take a new walk. So, how do we put this beautiful philosophy into practice? Tomorrow morning, when you walk into your bathroom, everything will look exactly the same. The light will be the same, the mirror will be the same, and your toothbrush will be sitting in its usual cup, quietly waiting for you. For decades, your dominant hand, let us say your right hand, has confidently reached out, grabbed that handle, applied the toothpaste, and performed a perfectly choreographed 2-minute routine. Your right hand is the seasoned professional. But tomorrow, I want you to gently stop that seasoned professional. Leave your dominant hand resting quietly on the edge of the wash basin. Instead, I invite you to reach out and pick up that toothbrush with your non-dominant hand. If you have been right-handed your entire life, you are going to use your left hand. If you are left-handed, you will use your right. This is what I lovingly call the Washbasin Waltz. It is a delicate, slightly clumsy, and wonderfully amusing dance that you are going to perform just for yourself. The very moment your non-dominant hand closes around the handle of the toothbrush, you are going to notice a profound shift. The plastic handle will suddenly feel foreign. It might feel a little thicker or heavier than you remember. As you try to squeeze the toothpaste onto the bristles, your fingers might tremble just a fraction of an inch. You might even drop a little bit of toothpaste into the sink. Please do not be frustrated by this. Smile at it. That slight unsteadiness, that unfamiliar clumsiness is exactly the magic we are looking for. That is the feeling of the sleeping gardener jumping out of his hammock. As you bring the brush to mouth and begin to clean your teeth, you will instantly realize that you cannot let your mind wander. You cannot plan your grocery list, and you cannot replay yesterday's conversations. If you stop paying attention for even a second, you might gently poke your own cheek or miss a tooth entirely. Your brain is suddenly forced to be completely 100% present in the bathroom with you. It has to calculate angles, measure pressure, and coordinate movements that it hasn't had to think about since you were a toddler. While your non-dominant hand is learning this entirely new waltz, we are going to add one more layer of sensory richness to ground you. We are going to connect your mind not just to your hands, but all the way down to the earth. As you are brushing, with your focus inherently heightened by the unfamiliar movement, I want you to gently shift your awareness down to your feet. Whether you are wearing your favorite soft slippers, thick woolen socks, or standing barefoot on the cool bathroom tiles, simply notice the physical sensation of the ground supporting you. Press your heels slightly into the floor. Then, gently fan out your toes and let them rest comfortably. Feel the temperature of the floor. Feel the solid, unwavering foundation beneath you. Notice how your body automatically makes microscopic adjustments in your legs and hips just to keep you standing perfectly balanced while your left hand moves in circles. You are no longer just a person hurriedly cleaning their teeth. You have become a deeply connected, fully alive human being, engaged in a gentle morning symphony of the senses. I want to emphasize how incredibly accessible this practice is. It demands absolutely zero strenuous physical exertion. If you have stiff knees or a sore back, and you prefer to sit on a stool in front of your wash basin to brush your teeth, you can still perform this exact same waltz. You simply feel the sturdy support of the chair beneath you instead of the floor. It does not cost a single penny. It does not require you to read a complicated instruction manual or look at a glaring screen. It simply borrows the 2 minutes you were already going to spend in the bathroom anyway and transforms them into a powerful, neurostimulating ritual. By asking your non-dominant hand to take the lead, you are laying down brand new paving stones in the beautiful garden of your mind. You are encouraging fresh blood flow across the 2 hemispheres of your brain. You are gently insisting that the pathways of your mind remain open, flexible, and vibrantly alive. When you finish brushing and you rinse your mouth, look back into the mirror. I promise you, the face looking back at you will feel slightly different than it did the morning before. The lingering fog will have lifted. Your eyes will look a little brighter, a little more present. You will have started your day not on autopilot, drifting through a cloudy routine, but with intention, focus, and a gentle spark of inner vitality. You have just proven to yourself, in the quietest, most private way, that your mind is beautifully capable of learning new tricks, of adapting, and of staying sharp. You did it without stress, without judgment, and without any exhausting effort. You simply stepped off the paved path, felt the cool grass beneath your feet, and let the gardener know that there is still so much of this beautiful estate left to explore. Let us pause for a moment and look a little deeper into that slight feeling of clumsiness you will inevitably experience when you switch hands tomorrow morning. When you first attempt this simple Washbasin Waltz, there will be a fleeting second where you might feel a bit foolish. Your movements will lack their usual grace. You might feel a tiny spark of frustration that something so incredibly basic as brushing your teeth suddenly requires so much conscious effort. I want you to hold on to that feeling, to really examine that tiny spark of discomfort, because hiding within it is one of the most profound lessons we can learn about the journey of aging. We do not naturally like feeling clumsy. In fact, we spend the majority of our adult lives actively running away from the feeling of being a beginner. Think about the incredible decades you have lived so far. During your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you built an identity founded entirely on competence. You were the capable one. You were the person who knew exactly how to manage the household budget, how to navigate complex problems at work, and how to soothe a crying child while cooking dinner. Competence was your beautiful, heavy armor. You became the indisputable expert of your own life. And as experts, we expect ourselves to know all the answers and to perform every task with flawless efficiency. To stumble, to hesitate, or to look uncoordinated felt like a crack in that armor. We learned to associate our personal value with how smoothly and effortlessly we could manage our world. So, naturally, as we move into our later years, we instinctively cling to the things we already do perfectly because they make us feel safe, capable, and in control. But this brings us to a quiet, invisible tragedy that so many mature adults face. When we refuse to step outside of our perfectly choreographed routines because we are afraid of looking foolish, our world slowly begins to shrink. The magnificent garden of our mind becomes confined to a single, small, paved patio. We stop trying to learn a new language because we do not want to sound like a babbling child. We stop trying to paint or garden in a new way because the initial attempts might be messy. We stop taking the unknown trail in the forest because we might lose our footing. We confuse the comfort of being an expert with the joy of being fully alive. In our desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of perfect control, we accidentally lock the gates to our own vitality. We allow the fear of clumsiness to slowly put our minds to sleep. What if we completely reframe how we view that morning clumsiness? Think about a toddler who is just learning how to walk across the living room. They wobble, they wave their arms wildly, they stumble, and they fall onto the soft carpet. Do we look at that child and judge them for being uncoordinated? Do we think their mind is failing? Of course not. We look at them with absolute awe because that beautiful, messy clumsiness is the exact visual representation of a brain that is growing, reaching, and passionately engaging with the world. That clumsiness is the spark of life itself. Why should that definition change just because our hair has turned silver? When your non-dominant hand fumbles with the toothbrush, you are not experiencing decline. You are experiencing a magnificent rebirth of curiosity. You are allowing yourself the profound luxury of being a student again. This tiny morning habit is a daily rehearsal for the ultimate philosophy of graceful aging. It teaches us to loosen our iron grip on perfection. It reminds us that our dignity does not come from never making a mistake, but from having the courage to smile at our own imperfections. When you can stand in front of your bathroom mirror and laugh quietly at your own awkward left hand, you are practicing a radical form of self-love. You're shedding the heavy armor of the expert that you wore for decades. You're telling yourself that it is completely safe to not know everything, to feel a little off balance, and to explore the unknown corners of your own capabilities. This willingness to embrace the uncomfortable is the true secret to maintaining your independence. Because independence is not about living a life where nothing ever goes wrong. Independence is about keeping your mind flexible enough, brave enough, and resilient enough to adapt to whatever new challenges tomorrow might bring. This brings me to a realization that fundamentally changed how I view the passage of time. If you carry only one thought with you as you leave this living room today, I hope it is this. Graceful aging is not about maintaining a flawless, rigid illusion of perfection as the years go by. It is having the quiet, beautiful courage to remain a curious beginner in a world you have already conquered. We do not stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. By simply switching the hand that holds your toothbrush, you are choosing to stay in the game. You are choosing to keep the pathways of your garden open, wild, and brilliantly alive. You are looking at the years ahead not as a slow fading of the light, but as an endless invitation to discover something new, even in the most ordinary moments of your day. As we sit here in the quiet glow of this shared space, I want you to project yourself into tomorrow morning. When you walk into your bathroom and look at that toothbrush, you are no longer just going through the motions. You are stepping into a daily, beautiful act of self-care. You will reach out with your non-dominant hand. You will feel that initial, delightful awkwardness, and you will inevitably smile. That gentle smile is the exact moment your brain lights up. It is the moment the sleeping gardener picks up his tools, ready to tend to the magnificent estate of your mind. By simply embracing that 2-minute waltz, you are setting a tone of curiosity and resilience that will carry you through the rest of your day. You are quietly proving to yourself that your foundation is strong and your capacity to grow remains absolutely limitless. But of course, brushing our teeth is merely the opening scene of our morning. Once we leave the bathroom, the reality of the day truly begins. For most of us, over the past several decades, the very next step has been deeply predictable. We shuffle into the kitchen, perhaps still feeling a slight heaviness in our limbs, and we immediately reach for the coffee pot. We have been conditioned to believe that in order to truly wake up an aging mind, we need a strong artificial jolt to our system. We rely on that dark, bitter liquid to forcefully blast away the remaining sleepiness. But what if I told you that relying entirely on caffeine is like putting a harsh spotlight on that beautiful garden rather than letting the sun rise naturally? What if there was a way to ignite your inner vitality that feels incredibly soothing, completely natural, and lasts far longer than a quick caffeine rush? This is exactly the fascinating journey we are going to embark on in our next conversation. Next week, I am going to reveal a beautifully simple practice that takes exactly 5 minutes. It is a gentle, deeply restorative morning habit that genuinely wakes up your brain better than coffee ever could. It requires no special equipment. It costs absolutely nothing, and it taps into an ancient biological rhythm that our modern lives have unfortunately made us forget. It is a completely counterintuitive approach to morning energy, and I promise you, once you experience the steady, calm, and clear focus it provides, your relationship with your morning cup of coffee will change forever. It is the perfect, seamless continuation of the Washbasin Waltz we learned today. You truly do not want to miss out on adding this remarkable tool to your morning routine. In our fast-paced, noisy digital world, it is incredibly easy to lose track of the content that actually brings peace and value to our lives. The algorithm might not show you our next meeting on the porch unless you give it a gentle nudge. So, if you haven't already, please take a brief, deliberate moment right now to click the subscribe button just below this video. And most importantly, gently tap that little notification bell next to it. By doing so, you are ensuring that your seat in our cozy community is always saved. You will be the very first to know when it is time to add another effortless, life-enhancing habit to your daily vitality kit. Before we part ways and you go on to enjoy the rest of your beautiful day, I have a small, warm favor to ask. I would absolutely love to hear from you down in the comments section. It makes this channel feel like a true living room. So tell me, which hand will you be attempting your Washbasin Waltz with tomorrow morning? Are you a lifelong right-hander venturing into the unknown world of the left hand, or vice versa? Leave a comment below and declare your intention. I sit right here in this chair with my own cup of tea and read every single one of your messages, and it brings me immense joy to see us supporting each other on this journey. As always, my dear friends, I must gently remind you that the thoughts, routines, and philosophies we share in this cozy space are simply drawn from my own life experience. They are offered for educational and conversational purposes to inspire your daily routine. They are never meant to be a substitute for the wise, personalized counsel of your own physician. We are all beautifully unique in how we age, and if you have specific concerns about your memory, your mobility, or your overall well-being, please always consult with a professional who truly knows your medical story. Take wonderful care of your brilliant, beautiful mind tomorrow morning. Embrace the clumsiness. Age gracefully. Goodbye for now.